Alright, and then we should be coming up. Yep, we got sound. Alright, pause that. Pop this thing out. This goes down here. This comes over here. Pop this over here. We say test. Over here, we say test. Right, we're logged in. We're broadcasting on both. Right. Should be coming up on Twitch here in just a second. Okay. Come on up. I believe in you. Yeah, okay. So, hey Twitch, you wanna not show me an advertisement?
Hey TSM fans.
Pain in my ass. And then the tweets are real. Aw, that's so nice. Okay, so we're muted there. Life is good. Just need to get the streams shared. That one. Some early work. Join our office hours. Yep. Stream. And Twitch. Twitch is the other one. Yeah, okay. Alright, it's okay. Why didn't the YouTube thing expand? You know what? I don't give a shit. That's fine. Alright, we're tweeted. We could go bug the Discord too, I guess. And one more spot. Prosper. All right. I think we've promoted on all the places. All right. Good morning, guys. Let's see how many people we actually have tuned in. Oh, man. Looks like we got a good 10. Wow. Didn't think we'd muster that. So, it's December. I've been saying for 6 months that we'd be releasing endpoints by the end of the year. That's starting to look like not possible. Follow And from there and there, boom. Thanks for the follow on Twitter, Christopher. So this is not what's well, Veronica, my ideal romantic date. That's a good question. I love food. Have a good meal. It's really all I ask for. And then I'm a sucker for weird dates, the sort of things that make good stories. Like, I tried to take out this girl who was way out of my league one time. And the plan was there was an adult sport league that was like all of the gym class games that you played in elementary school, but they had adult leagues for them. And they did a yearly dodgeball tournament, like just a fun dodgeball thing at the local stadium. So I'm like, oh yeah, no, like we can go do that. No pressure. We can, it should be fun. She was way out of my league, so it never fucking happened. I had a lot of fun. I still went to the thing. There was a lacrosse game afterwards. It would have been fun. But yeah. That's the sort of thing. So I've been saying for 4 months now, that we wanted to get data out to you guys through some endpoints, and that's troublesome. There's just a lot of work. I am but one man. And IRL work, of course, takes precedence. Now, we have made a lot of great progress behind the scenes on little stuff. So we've solved our OHLC downtime problem, and we have a solution for keeping the endpoints up. That's good. I'm now far less scrublord on Python project development, which is good. Laying out projects so we can actually distribute them and share them. Good. Let's see what else. So the thing I keep getting stuck on, the thing that has really blown my schedule out of the fucking water, has been the scrapers. So I have this brilliant idea that we'd write new scrapers through the brilliant idea of a custom ODBC wannabe. And every time I sit down to it, it's like 4 times more work than I budgeted. So I don't know. I want to get one working end to end so that we at least have a sample. And if somebody wants to come along and write the second one, like if I write the first one, then I feel like writing the second one isn't that hard. But I keep running into goddamn walls and working on 100 things. So let's see if we can maybe get through some of that. I'm tempted to add a new data. Like, I'm tempted to... So, the last office hour stream, we wrote a rudimentary Z-Killboard archive fetcher, and we just got enough of it done to debug to say that it works, and that we actually can pull the data. We're not properly saving it yet, blah, blah, blah. It took like 3 fucking hours to get standing. So, that's where that was. I'm thinking we may look into the ESI endpoints. I'd very much like to have a thing that was capturing map data. And I don't know if that's going to be easier. We're going to go look at Eve API if we go do it. Um, so yeah, let's at least start getting started. The useful thing to do would be at least at the absolute minimum, write the connector for maps, um, and then we can go on from there. So why don't we try that? Let me try to actually get my brain up and going. Let's make sure I didn't miss anything important in the things. Hunting. I haven't heard anything about the drilling platforms. Expect media silence from CCP until mid January, which we might get. Sorry, my mic is bouncing. We might get something mid January, mid February, on the way to FanFest is sort of my expectation. Actually, knowing Fozzie, he might put the drilling platform details out on April Fools. So let's see. That button brings up that. Am I really that far out of frame? I'm pretty far out of frame. Holy crap. Okay, let's actually sit closer. How about that? Now I have the shadow, the mic shadow on my face. Okay. Hey YouTube, stop dropping frames. Okay, that button brings up that. Great. So the first thing we're going to look at is the new ESI endpoints to see if the map data is in there. It might be, it probably isn't. That one. So this is the thing going forward, and oh man, they actually have the market endpoints up for once. Let's check the universe endpoints. Public structures, station information. So we have SOV. No, it's SOV structures. Okay. Read the docs. I mean, the drop frames aren't happening on my end anymore, so if you're watching on YouTube, you can transcode it down through them. That's why we broadcast higher bitrate there. So we're gonna need the XML API. We're gonna need I mean, is the universe one have current logged in? No, of course not. Crest does. It's fine. We'll do it. We'll do it this way. We should be able to get a year out of this still before it gets deprecated, and we have to rewrite goddamn everything. Okay, so we want not the character endpoints, not the account endpoints. We want the universe endpoints. Those ones. event points. Map. Map and server status. Okay, so those are the ones we want to collect. We're going to start by throwing together a quick... Okay, this needs to not be this big. Doesn't help anybody being that big. Like that, maybe. Not that. Oh, yeah, you need one of those, don't you? Great, life is good. You can go up there. And you can go down here. We're going to go, say, Prosper Warehouse. We need these. And that. Actually, I would love to clear out, like, most of these. Start all fresh. Yeah, we're starting fresh. Can we close all the things easily? Close all files. Yes. Yes. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. Nope. Nope. Yes. 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 No. No. Nope. Okay. All right. So need one of those. That's not what I meant. Need one of those. One of those. We're gonna make a... We're gonna make one of these that goes with one of these. Right? Doop-a-doop. Oh, right. I do have a whole setup for that. Like that. And like that. So I actually look like I'm playing the game? That's right. Let's rearrange. We can rearrange things because you can't see it over my big dumb head. So we'll put this one down here. And we'll put this down here. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that's better. Right? Right? We're all good. Life is good. Like, I know what I'm doing. So Chris in YouTube is asking how many hours per week do I put into the show on a normal week where I'm not coding. Just baseline stuff. It's about 5 hours a week. I can cut it a little bit shorter on a good week. It gets down to about 4, but I mean, we spend 2 hours on the air, 1 for prep, 1 for running the stuff on Wednesday night, and then let's count 1 hour of what the hell is this, digging into whatever the news of the week is. Oops, that's not what it's going to be called. It's going to be called map. Oh, Eve's server info. No. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. As for taking time to code, so right now I think of my game time in I think of my time in a couple of slots. One is the no game time. That's the watching Luke Cage with the wife, that sort of thing. Second is the short game time, and that is just dominated by Rocket League at the moment. And then there's a long game slot when you actually have time to spend 2 or 3 contiguous hours on something. And instead of playing Eve, I play DevFleet. That's what ends up being my long burn thing. I did try to pick up Hitman, and I mean the game's great, but it's a little too slow for me. And I get that aching guilt that I should be working on something more important for how long that game runs. So, like, imagine how many Eve game sessions you have divided by 2 for me, because I've got work is fucking busy, and that's the time I try to spend on coding. Create table Eve server info. This one is server date time of type date time needs to be no. Null. Online players. See, here's the thing I always get stuck on is, do we follow the convention, or do we do our own fucking thing because we are unique snowflakes? No, we follow the convention. That's what we do. Yeah, 7 should do it. So Ham in Twitch is asking what program, what language program, and everything is written in Python. We're looking at MySQL right this second, and we're probably gonna have to talk about MySQL. We found the dirty underbelly of the motherfucker finally. So I have to stop with my smug ass. Database is a database. Who gives a shit? Server open is a bool. Is that double check our shit? MySQL. Column types, thank you. And it's Python 3. We don't do, is there no Boolean? Is it tiny int that I'm supposed to make bool? It's tiny int. I always forget. not null. Oh, this is Adobe stock art. It's a green screen. I mean, everything's fake. This is what it looks like IRL. Yeah, I grabbed it had to be a year back now after it was like, oh, we're doing like buy 5 pieces of stock art for $5. And I'm like, oh, that solves a problem. I can look like a professional. Look how amazing I look. Oh man, it looks like I really know what I'm doing. Got everyone fooled, right? Yeah, I mean, everyone can have their database opinions, and until they actually send me how to how to work with it and how to update so this is why so if you guys the reason I did all this work, and we're going to get into this in just a sec. Let me finish writing this table, and then we'll talk about it. So key is server date time engine equals InnoDB default char set equals Latin 1. Great. We don't need to index anything else. MySQL. Okay. Jeronica, I'm going to boot you out of the channel if you're going to keep talking like that. So what we did, if we go look in here, is that we have this warehouse project that has everything in it, and table configs are here. And so we have these big old files that handle all of the connection information for every table. So for crestmarkethistory.py, we have that, right? And if we go up all the way up to SQL, we have a Crest Market History SQL table that it's going to go right into, right? Everything is completely abstracted. I am so try-hard that I wrote my own ODBC, right? Now, the meaning, okay, I'm sure half of you don't know what ODBC is, and that's fine. It's kind of a Windows thing. The idea is that instead of writing specifically a connector that goes straight from you, straight to the table, you go through a middleman who understands how to talk to each kind of table. So you don't have to write like a whole stack of code that works for MySQL, and then, oh man, if we change that, well then we have to write all this code all over again to talk to Postgres, and all this code all over to talk to SQLite, when all I want to do is like select star, that sort of thing. ODBC is your savior. It saves you have to write to one connector instead of all of them. So what I did, is I went through and said, okay, well, the way I want the behavior to work is that I want scrapers, all they have to do is call one write command, and it's going to go up to the database. And I don't want scrapers to even know jack fucking shit about the way the tables work. I just want them to say, I have a big glob of data, take care of it. And that's what this does, is that it allows us to put as much complexity under the hood and abstract it away behind one write command. So for instance, the problem we ran into this week, and these are making my ears ring, is that what happened? So we just upgraded to the new sexy SSD. If you watch the show this week, I showed off pictures of it. And I mean, I could probably pull it up on the Discord again and show it off one more time. Come on, there you are. Shiny new hard drive, right? Top of the line. But we're not seeing the MySQL performance improvement we expected. And it turns out it's because we have some 50 million records in a single table for trying to index, and MySQL is trying to index all of that with the same priority. Like, MySQL just does not want to deal with more than about 10 million rows, and we've got 50 or 500 million rows. Like, it's insane. So, like, for instance, we were talking, and we just ran into this week, so we're not to the bottom of the problem yet. But we were talking about this week and said, oh, well, so for instance, one of the easy solutions is, what if you just cut up the data, right? Like, if, yeah, we're using InnoDB. And like, so what if you split the data 10 ways, right? You went to the type ID list and you did a random skew, and Plex goes in one table, Trit goes in another table, Pyrite ends up in a third table, Mexilon ends up back in the first table. Like, you just go through the type ID list, you mod it by however many cuts you want to do, and you split all the type IDs that way. Then you'd have 10 smaller databases that'd be easier to index. You kind of take the MapReduce route. Okay, the problem is, now you have 10 different tables, and where the fuck is my data? And oh my god, what if I have to do joins? Like, that would completely blow any savings out of the water, right? Well, what we can do is instead say, guess what? You're still going to use the same write command, the same write and read commands, but now this middle layer here, this middle layer here, is going to deal with the scramble that needs to be done. It's going to unscramble when you ask for the data. It's going to do the join in memory through pandas instead of through MySQL, which is way faster. And then it'll return the data as if it were one giant table. You don't know any better. Who gives a shit how it works? You just need to know that you write and you read, and those are the two commands you ever need. So, we don't have a solution for the complexity yet. We need to do experiments. It's going to take us probably 3 fucking months to land on a new thing. But that's why I went through all the goddamn effort, pardon my French, to go write a custom stupid connector here, is that we can add that complexity in at the app level. We can add it in the library rather than trying to remember, oh shit, this table's partitioned, that table isn't, I don't fucking remember, let me go look through the code. Yeah. Mostly because I don't want to do the language abstraction to write joins. It's easier to write abstracted joins in pandas than it is trying to put the strings together to do a join. So, cry about it all you want. So King Copa, I hope some of that rant answered what you're doing. So, we're writing database stuff so that we can do our V2 Prosper work. The thing we want to do today is turn this table here into one of these files here. And I know that's going to look totally shitty and obnoxious, but I don't think it's going to be as hard as you think, as some people may think. So Oops, no, I don't need those. Now, the problem is I've added complexity here so that when we add new tables, it's expensive. Not exactly the smartest move. You win some, you lose some. My middle layer for... I've sort of relied on some libraries as middleware when I just need to solve a problem, and I'll be like, okay, well, so for instance, there is a data set, I think is the name of the library for Python. That's like, yeah, don't worry about it. You know, just call me if you want to make up a table. You don't have to worry about schemas or nothing. I'll deal with it. And since we're also using pandas anyway, and that goes through SQL Alchemy, like I could just dump files pretty easily. But so that you can independently run each section. Like, okay, well, the write command has been abstracted to be write to file, whatever. The real write command, once it's there, we can use that. What is my problem? What is making all this noise? I don't even know what that package is, guys. Okay. I am here. It is great. Life is good. Okay. So, I'm probably going to need more of this. More of this, please. We're going to copy pasta. Oh, no, we're going to add adding SQL table I can write. I am here. It is great. Oops. Oh, that is a good point, Mr. Random. Let me see if I can do that button. No, that button. This button. This button. Connected accounts. That's not the button. Creator Studio? Channel advanced. Great, life is whatever. Dear YouTube, I know I can do this. Ah, there we go. That's the button. I hope that's you. Google, if you're going to rule the world, could you at least, like, make me feel like I'm not... WTD. Manager. Invite. Please tell me that went through. You got mail. Great. Okay. Yes, there are. I do have battle station pictures. Bloop. Bloop. Nope, 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 no, no. Don't search that way, stupid. Search this way. Make life easy. I want to link to that. Ermagerd. Albums. That one. PC. That one. All right. Hope that is right. Fuck. Brand management, boys. Okay. I'm getting yelled at by my sysadmin. So, I mean... So, Veronica says they use MongoDB. So, Mongo's great if you have unstructured data and you don't want to, like there's a whole object store thing. I like Mongo. It's easy to write into. I don't love how hard it is to read out of. I don't love the query language. Again, that's fine. We can abstract the query language. But, yeah. And how deep this thing goes, like, whatever. Oh, it's Hibiki. Has it been 3 months already? Welcome back. Always a pleasant surprise to have you in chat. All right, let's get some work done. Let's do the thing. I can do this. I am a person. Okay. Did I fix the... Oh, no. You don't... Right. You import a logger from the top. That's what happens. Hibiki in Twitch is asking what are my thoughts on Valkyrie. It's super slick. Even the rail shooter that they have, Gunjack, on the Oculus is a lot of fun. I don't have an Oculus because I have I have $1,000 worth of hardware upgrades I want to do before I even buy a headset. And yeah, that's the thing. So, yeah. I mean, it's wicked, and if you have your hands on a headset, like totally do it. But all right, we are copying the whole motherfucker. We are putting it in here. We are calling it table configs. We are going to call it Eve Market. No. Server info. That's the name of the thing. We're going to go all the way to the top. We're going to call this the right thing. Eve server info. We're going to call this me plus that. Right? Right? I think that's a thing. So we don't have to mess with these. These are copy pasta. They should actually probably go up a level. That's fine. Actually, no, this one shouldn't, and this one can't. That's right. I remember what I'm doing. I'm a professional. Let's see. Also, don't go on vacation to Nashville. What's there to do in Nashville? Stomp your boots? Square dance? Wear a Dolly Parton wig? I don't even know if he's still tuned in. Make fun of my sysadmin. That's a recipe for success, guys. Pro tip. All right. So, get create table string should be exactly the same thing. There's nothing special in here. Get keys. We need to mess with this. This is going to have to get updated. Me plus that. Oh, and we want to update the doc strings. That's the other thing. Doc strings are important. I should probably fix that enum. Okay, you are not using... We have to deprecate that. That's fine. Like that. I really should move that somewhere so that it's like MySQL style. I don't know. Like if we bumped it up one level and just returned the name of it, that might be a thing. Okay, that's fine, that's fine. Default create string. Right, life is good. We need to add the keys to the config file. That's the next thing we need. So this is a cringeworthy thing. If you want to yell at me about a thing. Where are my configs? Where are my configs at? Is that the configs are in plain strings here. Because turns out that fetching headers, like one, I can't reliably do the key structure the way I want to and tag them inside of MySQL. Two, fetching headers is completely different per technology. And so I was just like, whatever, fuck this shit. We're going to go just make table configs here in plain text and just do it that way. So we're going to have that. Index key, like I can probably get the primary index here. I don't think there are any of these. I mean, you should have just received a mail about it, like, NBD. Oh, there's more. But wait, there's more. Do 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 do. That button. Alright, we're not listening to... No, I want to go fat finger my way around my apps. Yes, that is what I want to do. That's what I want. There we go. Music. Okay, so table create file is here. Great, right? Like, there are worse solutions. There are better ones. This was a compromise. Oops, and this needs to be here. We save that. We're gonna prosper table config. So updating table config CFG with new table info. Somebody in trouble out there? Okay. So Loud Noises on YouTube is asking if I've ever manipulated a market. The answer is kinda. So, well, I mean, one, I just hard set I was a fucking dictator about, right? When I was working with Aderon Robotics in Faction Warfare, I designed their fitted ship program, and I made up a whole spreadsheet so you could easily supply the thing. You'd always know what the prices were supposed to be. And there was like a 20% markup on it because it's a luxury product. It's a press button, receive bacon kind of thing. It requires a good amount of time from people who spend a lot of their free time making things run, and that's not a free service. And oh my god, so much complaining. They're like, oh, it's so expensive. Why is it so expensive? Why are you doing this? I'm like, okay, one, self-supply is free. You can make a free jump freighter contract from JITA, and as long as you're willing to put in the work and effort, you can supply yourself at JITA price. This requires a guy to spend several hours a week jump freightering and crap, relisting contracts, doing, getting carpal tunnel from all of the clicking. And that comes at a premium. It's a useful service because it means that we can refit instantaneously, but it is not a free one, and you will pay for their time, damn it. So that was one I just was the benevolent dictator on. As far as manipulating other markets, so I find manipulation a little bit difficult because to do it effectively, I don't think a lot of people understand the mechanics behind doing it effectively. So, like, you can't... what? It's copy pasta. Whatever. If you have opinions, put a pull request in. And, like, manipulating in JITA is extremely difficult because, imagine that you're trying to pull water out of a lake. And you can get a really big bucket, but the water's going to backfill in pretty quick. So, like, there was an instance where Iron Bank bought up every single material out of JITA just for the lulz. And that spiked the price, but only for like 4 hours, because any materials that weren't in JITA were all of a sudden rushed into the vacuum to go do it. So it's a little bit harder to do. Now, if you're in nullsec and you have a stronger grip on things, well, seeing as jump freighters have to come in, it's a lot easier to manipulate and mess with a market that way. But then you're sort of, I get a little skeevy about that because if you're screwing your team for more money, you could be sapping their effectiveness. And I mean, I'm more than happy to get paid for what your work is worth. but I don't really want to screw my friends. So, I mean, that's the way I feel about a lot of that. Kanaka is asking what kind of EVE Online is this. So this is DevFleet. This is the back end of the Prosper project. The whole, if you haven't seen the show before, the entire suite is run off of. The show is only possible through code. We have a statistical analysis tool that looks for that helps us seed the outlier section of the show. All of the graphs are generated off of our own data. The data has been collected over a couple of years now, in that so that we can get the resolution and the kind of data we want. Because a lot of the endpoints don't have memory, so we have to store the data ourselves. And I'm trying to bring a version 2 of this pipeline up. I mean, the goal by end of the year is to have a real data pipeline where scrapers are pulling data in, the warehouse is warehousing it correctly, and then REST endpoints are pushing it out to the world so you guys can use the same data we do. But it's more work than I expected, and I'm a slack ass, and IRL work is hard, and so we're behind. I have about 2/3 of what I hoped I would have. Oh no. Oh, and then we need to do exception catching. Fucking hate this thing. Yeah, I know it's not right. I know, I'm sorry, I'm fixing it. Let's make sure there's nothing else I need to fix. Okay, we're good so far. Chadu in YouTube is asking when I expect excavator mining drone prices to drop. I don't know. Since they're so new, I don't have visibility on them yet. I would hope that they were coming back towards parity now, but if the drone AIs are staying at 15 million or maybe coming down to 12 million, I don't know what the price of those, what the building price of them actually is. So, yeah. Okay, we're killing this. Let's bring this over so you guys can see what I'm doing. We're deleting those because they don't need to be there. Primary data index keys from config file returns string up to parent object object list of type string. I don't remember if that's how you do it. Actually, I think it's object string data keys primary keys, sorry. Data keys data in them calls that have data in them. Calls for indexing, filtering, great. We kill this. String, table name, oops, stir, schema name, great. So that's an object of type MySQL DB dot cursor okay, that's good. We're going to kill that. We're going to kill that. We're going to kill this. We're going to add the fuck you. To the end of this. Put one of those. Break a rule. I know. You're mad that I put a thing on there. I know. I know. I'm a jerk. Okay. Latest entry is this. Is that... Okay, I don't think I need string thing there. Given, what are they called? Come on, stupid. Query KW args. Object pandas dot data frame. I think it's a data frame. Oh no, it should be no, it's a object of type list contents of single row contents. So Loud Noises is asking in YouTube my ideas on amassing wealth while plexing your account. So for a long time I've paid for my accounts because it just made sense to do so. I like the larger numbers than having to worry about the Plex volatility. And so, but when I was doing major ISK making, I always accounted the Plex costs into my calculations. So the way I would look at it was how, per week in my profits, how many Plex was I really pulling out per character, and I'd use that as a trigger to rebalance if things were starting to get too lean. As far as amassing wealth, I mean, I'm a little cavalier in the accounting that I like leveraging as much of it as I can at all times. So what I would think of as a production purse would grow over time, and every time it got bigger, you'd be able to build more things. Your weekly production purse would grow and grow and grow. I also the other part of it was that instead of for a long time, instead of plexing my accounts, I was paying people to work for me for a chunk of the profits. So we would split the profits three ways. 1/3 would go to the pilot, 1/3 would go towards growing the wallet, and 1/3 would go to costs, things like overhead and investment, that kind of thing. And for me doing the management work, for me basically saying, okay, guess what, crunch this kit. When it's done, I'll pay you. Meant that whoever was working for me had a zero thought income stream, essentially. They just had to do the effort and get the money. And then I got the added help of having more people in there. And there's no... I mean, I understand the point of growing the wallet. I start to lose motivation north of 20 billion. But now with Citadel, that might be different. I mean, you just have to set your goals and you have to go reach for them. The thing that helped me big time was getting my butt kicked to actually account everything correctly. That changed me from making enough money to be positive to really raking in the dough, because it changed the way I was thinking from like just make enough, keep the things going. We'll get there eventually to, well, if I just change this one thing, well, and if I think of this instead of in percent margin and instead think of it in net returns, well, I can do a lower margin product, but I can move a lot more of it for more net profit on the end of it. And that's what really changed my income streams, was that. Well, and hello, Freighter. Oh, they left. Okay. But yeah, my number one tip for any industrialist, any person who wants to be making the money, who is surviving. So I mean, the first step is that you have to understand, you have to make enough to be profitable in the first place, to not feel like it's a waste of time. So that's step 0. But step 1, to turn that into a real income stream, is to really dig down and account for everything. This is why, for instance, I hate stockpiling. I think it's the shittiest thing that anyone can do is stockpile. Because 90% of the people don't understand what they're stockpiling, and they'd be better off just selling it now and having the cash than thinking they're doing their due diligence. Like they fool themselves into losing money on stockpiling. And so, I mean, the root of this is, and so here's the lesson here in the office hours, is that I think of whenever I'm making money, I like to compartmentalize. So let's say you're producing something. You're producing bombers, for instance. So there are several pieces of the chain that you need to do. 1, you need to produce components. 2, you need to produce blueprints in invention. 3, you need to produce the actual final product. And 4, you need to supply yourself. And 5, you need to sell the thing, right? Each of those things is a module in this chain. So the production piece doesn't cut up very well to start, right? Like, you're going to produce every one of your components, you're going to produce every one of your blueprints, you're going to produce every one of your bombers. And that's fine, that's great, life is good. Now, on the supply side, let's say you thought you wanted to stockpile, whether that's tritanium or if that's nanotransistors or what have you. Well, that is a new operation. Stockpiling puts one more link in the front of the chain for the supply chain. And every one of those links, you should be thinking to yourself, how is this making me money? So if I'm going to buy orders, that's a new set of effort. What is the margin I'm adding for myself by not just using sell orders, by going to buy orders, or by going to speculate on this? Well, that means that margin for that speculation action needs to make money. And a lot of the times it won't. And that's my problem with it, is that you're putting in a lot of extra effort. You are leveraging extra cash that is now sitting in a hangar somewhere as a physical asset. And unless the price goes wildly up, unless you would buy and sell that thing as speculation already, you shouldn't stockpile it. That's the lesson. So, yeah, it's and I mean, when you're looking at the production chain, like building my own components, well, yeah, that makes me a chunk of margin that if I didn't do it, I wouldn't make any money on the bombers, right? Like there is margin that if I just put products in and build them and sold the components without even building the bomber, I would make money, right? And if I take those components, I put them in the bomber, I would still make money on the bomber. Great. So I'll put those two together. I'll get more margin. I will be basically doing two jobs to get more money, rather than thinking, oh, well, I have to build this and I have to build that and I have to build this. And then all of a sudden you're losing money on one of the steps and you look like an asshole. This is how I feel about a lot of the T1 ships. If you're really fast, for instance, you can make money on cruisers, but you need to be ready to produce them and sell them within like a 12-hour window, or a 24-hour window to really make that work. Otherwise, you're fighting against people who are like, I mine my minerals, and well, that means 0 here and 100% profit here, and I'm so smart. And they're not accounting for the fact that they could just sell the minerals for more money than actually building the thing. And now they've cut themselves out of some amount of profit, right? And so if you want to go super try hard, for instance, one of the things I did when I was doing bombers is that when I was looking at the components section of the build, I said, okay, well, there are things that are worth my time that make 10 to 15% margin just by themselves, that account for a good chunk of the cost. Things like the armor plates, the capacitors, the shield modules. These components I needed to build because it would just eat too much of my lunch not to do it. But when I looked at things like reactors and sensors, and there was one more of them, I think, usually, I was looking at like, I was going to spend 20 billion on building the ships that week. If I spent 1% of that, I could just buy every one of those components and save all of that production time. Like, sign me up, like for a 1% margin loss, to get back some 15% of my build time. Hell yeah. And that was one of the tricks personally that for me that I found was like, let me only build 50% of my components. Let me buy the ones from the people who are shitty at the math, who are building them off their own reaction pods and are accounting for it differently than us regular scrub lords, and let me use their margin to my gain. And that freed me up to do a lot more bombers per week than I could otherwise. And so, yeah, anytime you're going to add a step, you need to ask what that step is worth. And if it's not worth anything, if you're going to spend a whole bunch of time 0.1 isking for 2% extra margin because you're fighting in the buy orders to try and supply yourself off buy orders, or you're producing so much of a product that selling on the sell orders is taking up too much time. What if I just ate the profit and went to buy orders? Would I still make money? These are the sort of questions you should ask yourself. These are the sort of optimizations I believe in. So that's not to say I don't go nuts and I don't speculate. Like when I was building jump freighters, there was actually a lot of fun to speculate in, because with each one costing 5 billion ISK, well, all of a sudden 1% is important, right? That saving a couple of points on the production chain saved a lot of money. Speculating on the prerequisites to grab them in at their local minimums, it was worth it. Fighting for buy orders that were cheap was worth it, because the returns on those investments became a big piece of it. And so it's not to say that it's not possible. It's just that it makes do it when it makes sense. Do it when you're going to make enough margin that it's going to affect your bottom line in a meaningful way. Saving 1% on a 100 million ISK order is stupid. Like, who gives a shit about 1 million? 1 million, you can sneeze 1 million, but 1% on 1 billion or 1% on 10 billion starts to add up to some real cash, and you make some real money. So yeah, and like the component thing was definitely a 50-50 thing. My old calculator I had pre-Creus would lay out how many man hours it would take to build the thing, how much it would cost to just buy it. And then I could say, okay, well, I'm going to buy all of these, and I would have like a total of how much I was doing, and I had a budget for how much margin I was willing to burn, and that's what I would fill out. So that's my opinion there. And I mean, the spoiler, if you just want to do on just the components, is that it's a time thing. So the time to produce reactors, for instance, is so low that the margin is pretty much in the floor. And the reason it's in the floor more than anyone else is that people who own reaction POS amp their margin by producing the final products. It compresses better. It's worth a little bit more for doing it. And their production chain is such that they're not, that their cost to produce their mined minerals are free idea is less asinine. It is kind of asinine, but it's less asinine. Let's see. We're at 9:30, so we're gonna 9:15. So we got about 15 more minutes, and I'm probably gonna have to bail after that. Oh, that's cute as hell. I can't read any of that. That's fine. Jeez, oh Pete's. Okay. Data frame, please. Write to database. This doesn't return anything, right? Nope. Oh, don't be that way. No. That. I am charming. So charming. Delete that. This doesn't return anything, so we're gonna oh yeah, we're a match made in heaven, dude. And we're going to put a return there just to make things pretty. There we go. Format latest entry. Oh, that's why you're not supposed to have that. I don't actually need that. Oops. So, what's my latest data? Where's my latest entry at? There. We're going to do that. And we're going to take put data. All right, we don't have put data. We're only going to use the super put data. That's what we're going to do. So boop, kill that. Okay. So then for our test, I come in here. We're gonna steal this, even though I shouldn't have to do all of this. We do that. We're gonna fix that in just a second. Way down here to debug. To do v2 logger. Sample data frame. Okay, we're going to copy those. Great. Kill that. Eve, server info, test object. Sample data frame, great. We need to rewrite the data frame, and then that would be success for this session at least. Did I not do that right? Build sample data frame. What's your problem? Oh. These, please. Okay. I think I'm basically out of time, though. Shit, I'm going to finish this later. So, we'll talk about testing stuff, I guess, the next stream. I want to thank everybody who tuned in live. We're going to have to wrap this up. If you have any more questions I didn't get to, be sure to bug me on Twitter at EveProsper. You can always bug me in-game at Lockefox, Lockefox. If you want to follow the project, links should be down in the doobly-doo, but they may not be. If you are interested in the code stuff, do reach out to me directly. We have a Discord up, and that will be opening up to the public probably right around New Year's. If you're a patron to the show, information on how to join has already been sent out to our patrons. What else? Words and stuff and things. We should be back on Thursday, barring any more disasters this time. Do expect that we will be missing Christmas and New Year's, just FYI. Have a good weekend. I'm hoping we can do this again tomorrow morning. We'll see how early I get up. So keep tuned to the Twitter is the best place to get notified about that. Get subscribed on all the things. And if you want to support us directly, our patrons do keep this ad-free and keep us in hardware and licenses and make this show possible. So please support us if you can, and watch us otherwise if you can't. Your subscription and your shares do also improve the show. So we'll be back maybe later today, probably tomorrow. There should be more code going up. I got to figure out what's going on, or I might just play Rocket League all day like a complete slack ass. And either way, it was great having everyone here. I hope you guys got your questions answered. We will be back in no time.